I mentioned that there is a prejudice that involves a, a pre-made dummy, a pre-made doll that America has created and generalized all people of black the black community to live under. And should anybody in the black community be seen breaking away from this image or from this stereotype, this black person has been labeled crazy, sick, of concern, of suspicion, simply due to the fact that this black person has woken up and realized that his life is worth more than what the white man has said about him, because the white man has not done a single ounce of his of any research possible to actually undergo the present circumstances that are afflicting black people till this day. If you thought signing a bill was going to alleviate the racial barriers, if you thought a piece of paper could do justice for hundreds and millions of black people who are living in low-income communities and on welfare, I am afraid to tell you that you are insanely misled. And it is because you have misled yourselves into thinking your law is so well intended that you have brushed yourselves void of the responsibility. And you have decided, instead of claiming your responsibility, that you are going to use the black people to squeeze and vent and to maneuver a mechanism of playing hide around. And not only do you hide, but you hide the history of the black people. You hide the circumstances of the black people. You hide data around the black people. You hide everything the black people need to know about themselves to survive in the Western Hemisphere in a single month called Black History, which honors our elders who sacrificed everything they need to do in order to maneuver in this land, not understanding that you honor their history and you disrespect our present circumstances. And it is because of your disrespect that the misunderstanding comes along when you come into contact with a black person and you end up acting violent. You are so quick to throw your shame. You are so quick to lack control of your urge to once again prove that you are above a black person getting their education. You are above a black person who's trying to help his people. And when this happens, you will notice that the white people can be very violent, as they have been and as they have hidden. They have been very violent in their quest to try and squeeze this black person back into the barrier, back into the box that they have created for the entire black community to live in, to the point where we cannot even compromise 3/5 of a human being under their constitutional law. And when you find yourself in such a situation, you're really just told to be hopeful. You're told to smile it off, while they label you with everything in the book. They'll label you sick and crazy when they have no historical research on the circumstances revolving around black people, related to the circumstances that maneuver black people away from that dummy doll that they have created, to where they assume that if you're not a black person wearing Jordans, or if you're not a black person wearing a snapback, or if you're not holding a gold chain, and instead you're well law abiding and you are going to school, they will oppress that, because that is their definition of crazy. And if you don't believe me, I will mention this again. They took the life of a 18-year-old child and tried to erase his history. They tried to erase their social media pages. They voided themselves. And this boy was going to college. You see, the problem is there is such a small percentage of black people who actually realize that their best way around the system is to be educated. And these small groups of black people are often underrepresented, particularly within the Western Hemisphere. And there is very little research. Any research you have on a black person who does education has been done through the black community. And because these white medical teams have no history, no knowledge, or no recollection on the experience of a black person, they know that the safest way to avoid any lawsuits or any worldwide issues, or to run away from any accountability, is to take that black man down while they can, to label him while they can, to erase his knowledge while they can, to convince him that what he is doing is insanity while they can, when all he is doing is trying to break from the stereotype without having to deal with the opposition, which they are very well aware of, which comes a black man's way when he is seen within the system trying to gain something of value, of meaning for himself, whether the community sees it or not. That right there is the truth. And the life of the black people who perhaps are residing under these conditions is further made worse by the sellouts, the sellout middle class, so-called black professionals who claim to be so proactive in their community to solve the cause, not understanding that all they are doing is exploiting the black community by using a sense of integration amongst whites, to be seen of whites, to dine with whites, rather than devoting any kind of generosity back to the struggle. They're ashamed of the struggle. They fear the struggle of the remaining black people who are living and residing amongst the low income. And because they fear the struggle, they raise a red flag and pass on further information to these white medical teams to bring about further investigation should a black person be seen living anywhere outside of the stereotype or of the racial barrier of the token black man, or of the stereotype black man, or the brainwashing, unless the whitewashing has occurred. And the black brain is one brain that I'm going to tell you that you will grow and regret to mess with. You may not understand what I'm saying, but when you have a situation where you continuously convince yourselves that you are better than every black person alive, you neglect to realize you're dealing with a black population who, even within the minority of themselves, were capable of marching through the streets and fighting your system against all these bias beliefs and stereotypes in order to see us being catered for till this day. And it is only until Black people discover the adequate medical procedures of our own stores, our own community, our own professionals who actually understand the Black experience and do not equate us with the white experience, which is wake up, go to college, party, get a wife, get a job. If you thought that was the life of a Black man, then I feel very sorry for you. And it is because you generalize the white experience and you believe that any Black person outside of the barrier needs to live up to that experience, not knowing that there is a opposing belief from several communities who have identified as anti-Black around the Western Hemisphere, to whom you deny. To whom the Black people, historically and presently as we speak, have enough evidence, systematically and through evidential research, to prove that these communities are a harm and a threat to the Black community. But because you disagree with the experience of a Black man, you are nothing more than one of these mob communities yourselves.